Today I am on Whidbey Island in Washington with the amazing Margot Merah, who is here from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Hello, my name is Kathryn Claire, and on this channel I share songs, stories, tips, and lessons from my experience of performing, touring, recording, and teaching music. Margot and I met in 2013 in Amsterdam, and I will share that magical story in a moment. Recently, I have been thinking a lot about music and the way that music connects people around the world and connects artists and audience together. And I wanted to talk to some of my favorite musical colleagues and friends about this topic. And I can't think of a better person to start this conversation with than Margot. Okay, so the first question that I wanted to ask you about is where you grew up and whether music was a part of your childhood.
Yeah, well, absolutely it was. Yeah, I grew up in a tiny little place in the northeast of the Netherlands called Baslo. Nobody will know that, but that's okay. My father and mother were both very musical, although the busyness of raising a family kind of got in the way of them performing or doing that, but my mother has always sang in a choir. My dad was one of the first DJs of the Netherlands. And he built his own guitars. He built a beautiful Hawaiian guitar. He played guitar. My mother played a little mandolin. They played a little harmonica. But as I said, raising kids and trying to get by was not, got in the way of them performing all that much. So music was always there, and everybody liked the music, but it wasn't played very often during my childhood.
Right.
I played a lot. I started with playing the trumpet, and then playing the organ, and playing saxophone, and I only moved to guitar when I left house and was a student, because of course I could not take my organ with me. In a student house you don't really want to play the saxophone, so
No, you don't.
So I was quietly noodling away on my guitar. Wow. That was my experience as a kid.
Wow, thank you. I wanted to share my memory of when I first met you and the way that music really connected us, and how, I wouldn't have met you if we hadn't played music.
Yep.
So Margot and I met in Amsterdam, as I said, and we were booked to play a show together, and with her band, The Lasses. That's Margot and Sophie Jana. And so we met at a session the night before our show. We'd never met each other before. And then we played our show the next night. And this is my amazing memory that I love of you, is that I missed the last tram back to where I was staying. And Margot said, "Don't worry about it. We wanted to keep on playing our final songs of the night." And she said, "Don't worry about it. I'll give you a lift home." And the lift home was on the back of her bicycle, along with her guitar, my fiddle. Did I have a guitar?
I think you did.
I do too.
I think there was two guitars.
I think there were two guitars and me sitting on the back. And Margot went up and over bridges, over the canals, and just rode me all the way home. And I thought to myself, this woman is a rock star, and I want to be friends with her for the rest of my life. Oh. And here we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, Margot and I have shared many stages together, and we have traveled to many different parts of the world. And I shared a bit about my story of first meeting you and the way that music really brought us together. And I wondered if you had a memory of a musical experience maybe that we shared in the world in which music was connecting.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I could easily tell 10 stories.
I know, me too.
One of the things that is coming to mind when it goes to connecting with other people and other cultures is when you took us to Japan, which is still kind of mind-blowing. All of a sudden I was in Tokyo and Kyoto playing music. And this one time, it was maybe the second gig we did. We played in a church. There were 50 people. I don't know how their level of English was, but not everybody spoke English all that well. And we played a few songs, and then we played one of my original songs called Bittersweet. And I think you or we explained about bittersweet, you know, what it means. And we said people could sing along to it, maybe.
Right.
And so we sang the song, and there's the first chorus, and a few people sing along, and there's the second chorus, and all 50 people, I think, are singing along.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, and kind of going like this.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, I'm like, what? This is Girl from Paslo.
Yeah.
And I'm in Kyoto,
Uh-huh.
and 50 people are singing my song.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember looking at you and looking at Sophie with this, like, is this really happening? Is this what? Yeah. So that was such a moment of, it doesn't matter if you speak the language or if you've never met or if you are from different cultures. It's just, we're all kind of one. That sounds cheesy, but it's not.
So
you know,
true.
we're just all together there in that moment. 50 people from Kyoto singing a song from a girl from Paslo.
Oh, I
Basically.
love that. Thank you so much for that. And it's so, you know, we've been talking about that like music for us traveling in different parts of the world, like music has been our language that has allowed us to make a deep connection. Like we're singing with this audience of people in another country, and we're all singing together. Like, how amazing is that? And to be able to travel in that way, music allows you to connect to people in a way that I don't think I ever would have had I not been a musician. I just don't. You know?
No, you don't get into people's houses. You don't meet many people while they're working.
Yes.
Except when you're touring. Because all of a sudden you're not just visiting Japan, but you're having to deal with a sound man or a promotion woman.
Right.
And we're working, so it's such a different way of travel, and it's such a different way of connecting with people, and I love it because you get to see the real people more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so for my last question, I hear that you are working on a new album, and I was wondering if you would tell us about it.
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
It's going to be my 9th album, but the other 8 always have been with other people. I love to collaborate. I love singing harmonies. I love working with other people. And then for this one, I just decided to do all my solo stuff and all my own stuff. Having said that, I am working together with my dear friend and a super instrumentalist, Alan McLaughlin.
Yes.
That you know.
I do know Alan.
Because I introduced you to him, and if you played with him in
Yes.
Amsterdam.
Yes.
You know, there's another connection there for you.
Absolutely.
So I recorded a bunch of songs, guitar and vocals, and one ukulele and vocals, just right in one go. And we started working with that. Alan put a lot of other instruments on. I put some other stuff on, and then we've been mixing together, thinking like, oh, we could use a little this here, or maybe a little that there. And it's such a fun and great process to go through. We have no hurry. We just working on it little by little every week or every 2 weeks, and slowly it got done. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna release it now, and the first single is out.
Yes.
Standing Still.
So good.
There's gonna be another single and maybe another one. Yeah.
Yes.
And the album is gonna be called Take Heart. Yeah.
And can you share at all where the title of the album came from? Taking Heart?
People say that my songs are hopeful, and I hope they are. There's a lot of songs about, I always like to write, I write about other people a lot, and there's always something, I think like encouraging in them. Like when people struggle, I sometimes will write a song, think, oh, I wish you could see how beautiful you are, or I wish you could see how strong you are, or so. And I think that's in the title as well. Take heart, like have a little courage, you know. Well, this goes for you, for me, for the world. Like we just be a little dapper.
Yes, I love that. And where can people find you and your music online?
Well, I'm pretty much everywhere.
She's everywhere.
But the best thing to do is probably to go to my website, margotmerah.nl. And thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I'm also on Instagram, on Facebook, on Bandcamp. Bandcamp is a good one to check out the music.
Yes, I love Bandcamp.
So
yeah, and Bandcamp is a great way to also support the musicians, and downloading a single is great and easy to do there. So I also wanted to share one more story around your songwriting, because we talked about you sharing Bittersweet in Japan and how that song really connected. And I've thought a lot about your music, in the way that you write in this way that is like personal but also very universal. And one of my favorite songs that you wrote is a song called Hunter Moon, and I know that I am not alone in that, because I know so many people love that song. And I had this great experience of working with a student who's also a fan of your music. We decided to learn how to play your song on the ukulele, and it's been such a powerful thing to watch her learn the song, sing the song, and she has her own relationship to the song. It touches her in this really specific way. It touches me in a specific way. And, it's probably different from what inspired you to write it, but it's this beautiful way of having music connect. Now, I'm connected to that song and my student is, and
yeah.
It's just, I love that about songwriting and sharing songs, and that even though we are the writer, we can share those songs with the world, and other people can sing those songs and relate to them.
And other people can have different meanings in them. That's what I think is so great. That's the great thing, and it's just all part of your own experience with life.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Margot Merah, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation here in this incredibly beautiful place, and for sharing a little bit about what you're working on and about your musical journey. And it's so great to talk to you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
It's an honor. And thank you all for listening and checking this out. And wherever you are in the world right now, I hope that you are well, and I hope that music is bringing you joy and peace and connection. We'll see you soon. Bye.